The Long Road Home, A Tale of Dreams, Defiance, and Redemption. Chapter 1, The First Whisper of Rejection. I remember the moment vividly, the day I told my family I wanted to become a painter. I was just 19, standing in my cramped apartment, paint-stained hands trembling as I declared my passion. My father, a stern man with calloused hands from years of factory work, scoffed. "Painting? That's a joke. You're wasting your life, boy," he spat, eyes narrowing. "You'll never make a living out of that. You're embarrassing this family." My mother looked away, biting her lip, while my brother smirked with a look that seemed to say, "You're hopeless." They called it a ridiculous dream, a childish fantasy that would lead nowhere. They told me I was delusional, that I should grow up, get a real job, and stop wasting time with colors and canvases. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't let their words define me. Chapter 2, The Push to Prove Them Wrong. I spent nights in my cramped studio apartment, battling self-doubt and despair. Every brushstroke was a cry for validation, every splash of color a rebellion against their contempt. I worked tirelessly, often hungry and exhausted, painting through tears that threatened to fall with every harsh word they hurled at my dreams. Years passed. I refused to give up. I took every opportunity, local art shows, small exhibitions, online galleries. I hustled, sacrificed, and persisted. The road was brutal, filled with rejection and ridicule. But deep inside, I knew I was forging my own path. Slowly, the world started to notice. Art collectors bought my pieces. My name began to appear in small galleries. I was no longer just that kid who wanted to be a painter. I was an artist. Chapter 3, The Turning Point. Then came the breakthrough, a viral painting that captured the imagination of thousands. It was a piece I'd poured my soul into, depicting a raw, emotional landscape of struggle and hope. Overnight, I was thrust into the spotlight. Invitations to exhibitions, commissions from major clients, interviews. I had become someone I once only dreamed of. And yet, whenever I sat alone, I felt the ghost of their laughter. Their words echoed in my mind. "You'll fail. Embarrassing the family. Ridiculous dream." But I proved them wrong. I proved that persistence and passion could carve a new destiny. Chapter 4, The Return Begins. Years later, I stood outside my childhood home, an unassuming house nestled in a quiet suburb. The paint was chipped, the lawn overgrown, but to me, it was sacred ground. I had made it. My paintings hung in galleries around the world, my name recognized in artistic circles. I took a deep breath. Today was the day I would return, not just as a successful artist, but as someone who had finally claimed victory over their past. I walked through the gate, each step heavy with memories. My heart pounded, a mixture of anticipation and trepidation. Chapter 5, The family's eyes wide with shock. The door swung open, and there they were, my family sitting in the living room, their faces a mixture of curiosity and skepticism. They looked older, worn by time, their eyes narrowing as they took in my appearance. I was no longer the tentative boy in paint-stained clothes. I was dressed sharply, confidently carrying a portfolio case. My hair was styled, my eyes bright with purpose. "Dad," I said softly. "Mom, it's me." Their jaws tightened, and for a moment, silence reigned. Chapter 6, The Unveiling of Success. I placed my portfolio on the table and opened it. The room filled with my works, vivid, powerful paintings that told stories of pain, perseverance, and triumph. Their eyes widened with shock and disbelief. "This is what I've been doing," I said. "While you told me I'd fail, I kept going. I turned my dreams into reality. I'm proud of what I've achieved." My father's face darkened, then softened just a little. How did you do all this? I looked around the room, tears threatening to spill. I refused to listen to your doubts. I fought through every rejection, every moment of despair. I proved that I could create something meaningful. I proved that my dreams weren't stupid. They were mine. Chapter 7. The eye-opening moment. Suddenly, my mother's eyes welled with tears. She reached out, trembling, and touched one of my paintings. I never saw this coming. My brother looked away, but I saw the flicker of respect in his eyes. I understood then that their mockery was born from fear of my failure, of shame. I didn't come back to gloat. I came back to show them that the impossible was possible, that persistence overcame prejudice, that dreams, no matter how ridiculous, could be realized. Chapter 8. The Quiet Power of Redemption. Later that night, I sat alone on the porch, the stars above shining brightly. I knew I had crossed a threshold, not just in their eyes, but within myself. I had turned their doubts into my fuel, their ridicule into my motivation. My journey was not just about becoming a painter. It was about reclaiming my worth, defying every naysayer, and proving that dreams, no matter how absurd they seem, deserve to be chased. As I looked at the horizon, I whispered to myself, "This is only the beginning. The road ahead is mine to forge, and nothing can stop a soul that refuses to surrender." Epilogue: The Power of Never Giving Up. Years later, my paintings hang in galleries around the world. My story has inspired others to chase their dreams, no matter how impossible they might seem. And every time I return home, I see the look in their eyes, respect, admiration, and a silent acknowledgement that I proved them wrong. Because in the end, the greatest victory isn't fame or fortune. It's the quiet, unbreakable belief in oneself and the courage to stand tall against all odds. This is my story, and it's only just beginning.